What if I told you that the world you see, hear, and touch is just the tip of the iceberg? That every moment, all around us, animals are experiencing a reality that is invisible to us. Imagine this, an eagle soaring high above the earth. From that height, we would barely see a rabbit in the grass. But to the eagle's razor-sharp eyes, every detail is crystal clear. Vision so powerful it's like looking through a telescope. Or picture a bat slicing through the night sky. To us, the darkness feels empty. But to the bat, sound creates a living map. It doesn't just hear, it sees with sound, building a picture of the world out of echoes. Now dive beneath the ocean waves. Dolphins and whales sing to one another across miles of water, building a symphony of clicks and whistles. To us, it's just noise. To them, it's language, navigation, and even identity. And then the bees. As they hover around flowers, they don't just see the vibrant yellows and reds that we admire. They see ultraviolet markings, hidden patterns invisible to us, but glowing like road signs that point to nectar. For elephants, the ground itself becomes a messenger. They feel vibrations from miles away, as if the earth whispers secrets through their feet. The truth is, the world of animal senses is not just different from ours. It is richer, deeper, and far stranger than we can imagine. Tonight, we will step into this hidden world. A world where vision stretches beyond colors, where sound bends into sight, where scent becomes a map, and where the planet itself becomes a language. This is the untold story of animal senses, seeing the world beyond human limits. And once you've entered it, you will never look at the natural world the same way again. Before we journey deeper into the hidden world of animal senses, take a moment to support this channel. A simple like and subscribe helps us bring you more discoveries about the unseen, the unheard, and the extraordinary ways animals experience reality. Together, let's uncover the secrets of perception beyond human limits. High above the earth, where the air thins and the land stretches endlessly below, lives a hunter with eyes that outmatch even our most advanced lenses. The eagle, a master of vision, possesses eyesight so powerful that it reshapes our very understanding of what it means to see. An eagle's eye is enormous in proportion to its head, nearly the size of a human's, but far more specialized. Within, dense layers of photoreceptor cells create images 4 to 5 times sharper than what we perceive. Imagine standing on a mountain ridge and spotting a rabbit 2 miles away. For an eagle, this is not imagination, but daily reality. But acuity is only the beginning. Eagles see colors beyond our own spectrum, perceiving ultraviolet light that reveals details invisible to human eyes. This ability lets them track subtle signs, the ultraviolet trails left by urine marking the paths of small mammals, or the faint shimmer of fish scales breaking the water surface. Where we see only shadow and glare, the eagle sees a detailed roadmap to survival. Their vision is so fine-tuned that they can lock on a prey while diving at speeds over 150 miles per hour, never losing focus despite the rush of wind. The eagle's fovea, the part of the eye responsible for sharp vision, is shaped like a magnifying lens, stabilizing the image even during the most violent dives. This gift of sight grants them supremacy in the skies. To us, the world below is a blur of forests, rivers, and fields. To an eagle, it is a living canvas filled with movement, color, and opportunity. What we call superhuman vision is, to them, simply vision. When we look into the piercing eyes of an eagle, we are reminded that nature has evolved senses that stretch far beyond the boundaries of our perception. The eagle's gaze is more than sharpness. It is a window into a world that we, with all our technology, are only beginning to glimpse. When we walk through a field of flowers, our eyes take in a familiar palette: reds, yellows, blues, whites. Beautiful, yes, but limited. The truth is, what humans see is only a fraction of reality. Hidden just beyond the range of our vision lies ultraviolet light, an entire spectrum invisible to us, but brilliantly obvious to many animals. For bees, butterflies, and even some birds, ultraviolet is not a mystery, but an everyday guide. Take a simple daisy, for example. To us, it may appear as a uniform yellow disc with white petals. To a bee, however, the flower is alive with ultraviolet bullseyes and landing strips, patterns that shout, "Here's the nectar." These ultraviolet markings act like glowing arrows, leading pollinators directly to their food source, while ensuring the flower itself is pollinated. It's a perfectly balanced exchange, powered by a spectrum of light we can't even perceive. Birds, too, see the world in ultraviolet. Many species, like starlings and hummingbirds, use UV reflections in their feathers to attract mates. What looks to us like a plain brown or gray bird might, in the ultraviolet spectrum, shimmer with hidden colors and patterns visible only to other birds. In fact, entire displays of beauty and courtship are happening above our awareness, like secret performances on a stage lit with colors we'll never truly see. This ultraviolet vision shapes survival. Bees navigate landscapes by spotting nectar guides. Birds distinguish ripe fruits from unripe ones, and predators may even track prey that leave behind UV reflections. To animals, ultraviolet is not an exotic curiosity. It's an essential sense that defines how they interact with their world. When we realize this, it changes our perspective. The natural world is not only richer than we thought, it's full of signals and signs that exist all around us, but remain completely hidden to the human eye. For animals like bees and birds, ultraviolet is the language of survival, beauty, and connection. Imagine walking through the forest at night. The world around you is cloaked in darkness, and your eyes can barely make out the outlines of trees or the shimmer of moonlight on leaves. For a human, the night is a place of uncertainty. But for certain snakes, pit vipers, boas, and pythons, the darkness is no barrier at all. Instead, they see the world in a way completely alien to us, through heat. These snakes possess specialized organs known as pit organs, tiny openings on their faces located between the nostrils and the eyes. Inside these pits lie sensitive membranes that can detect the infrared radiation emitted by warm-blooded animals. In simple terms, snakes can see the heat radiating from living creatures, almost like night vision goggles built directly into their bodies. A mouse scurrying through the undergrowth, invisible to the human eye, shines like a beacon in the snake's perception. Even in total darkness, prey cannot hide its body heat. The precision of this sense is astonishing. Pit vipers can detect temperature differences as small as 0.003 degrees Celsius. That means even the faintest warmth, a tiny mammal breathing under leaves, or a bird roosting in the branches, can be pinpointed with deadly accuracy. Combined with their already sharp sense of smell and tongue-flicking ability to track chemical trails, snakes become near-perfect nocturnal hunters. But infrared isn't just for hunting. Some researchers believe snakes also use it for navigation and defense. Being able to sense warm bodies helps them avoid predators or threats in the night. And in the delicate balance of ecosystems, this heat vision makes snakes an essential force in controlling rodent populations and maintaining ecological stability. What makes this even more remarkable is the evolutionary ingenuity behind it. Beneath the ocean's surface lives a creature with vision so extraordinary it almost defies belief: the mantis shrimp. While humans rely on just 3 types of color receptors, the mantis shrimp is armed with up to 16. This means they don't just see the rainbow we know, they see colors invisible to us, ultraviolet polarized light, and even spectrums we cannot imagine. To us, a coral reef may look vibrant, but to a mantis shrimp, it explodes into a dazzling universe of hidden hues and shifting patterns. Their eyes are mounted on stalks, moving independently, scanning the underwater world with alien precision. Scientists believe this supervision helps them detect predators, find mates, and even communicate through secret color codes. Some species of mantis shrimp have iridescent patterns on their shells, glowing signals that only other mantis shrimp can truly decode. But these animals aren't just passive watchers. They're hunters with lightning-fast strikes, using their incredible eyesight to target prey with pinpoint accuracy. In a single blink, their hammer-like claws can shatter snail shells or even crack aquarium glass. To imagine what they see is to admit that human vision is only a small slice of reality. For the mantis shrimp, the ocean is not just blue. It is a living spectrum of invisible light, an alien dimension we can only begin to understand. As the sun dips below the horizon and the world grows dim, humans struggle to make out shapes in the fading light. But for cats, twilight is their kingdom. These mysterious hunters are equipped with night vision that turns the shadows into a living map. The secret lies in their eyes. While humans have a retina rich in cones for daylight vision, cats have a retina dominated by rods, photoreceptor cells that are far more sensitive to low light. In fact, cats can see in light levels up to 6 times dimmer than humans. Their pupils, vertical slits that expand into wide circles, act like precision lenses, flooding the eye with every bit of available light. And behind the retina lies a mirror-like layer called the tapetum lucidum, which reflects light back through the eye, amplifying it and giving cats their eerie, glowing gaze in the dark. This system doesn't just let cats see in near darkness. It gives them the edge of a predator. In the twilight hours, when rodents, birds, and insects are most active, cats move like silent phantoms. Their world is not pitch black, but painted in shades of gray and motion, where the smallest flicker becomes visible prey. Even domesticated cats carry this evolutionary gift. Watch your house cat at night, eyes shimmering like lanterns as it stalks invisible shapes you cannot see. For cats, the twilight world is a theater of movement and opportunity, a realm where their senses far surpass our own. When we think of the night as empty, they see a world alive with possibility. When night falls, another master of darkness takes flight, the bat. While cats rely on vision, bats have evolved an entirely different way of perceiving the world: echolocation. To us, The night sky may seem like an empty void, but to bats, it is alive with echoes, a three-dimensional sound map as clear as sight. Here's how it works. Bats emit high-frequency calls, often ultrasonic, far above what humans can hear. These sounds bounce off objects and return as echoes, and within fractions of a second, the bat's brain deciphers them. From a single echo, a bat can calculate the size, shape, distance, and even the movement of its target. Imagine being able to close your eyes and still see a moth's fluttering wings or a branch swaying in the wind. For bats, this is their reality. Some species can send out hundreds of calls per second, creating a constantly updated acoustic picture of their surroundings. This allows them to swoop through tangled forests or chase tiny insects at breakneck speed, all in complete darkness. In fact, echolocation is so precise that a bat can distinguish between different species of moths or detect a single strand of human hair in its path. But this superpower is not only for hunting. Bats also use echolocation to navigate caves, find roosting spots, and communicate with one another. It's a sensory system so advanced that scientists study it to design sonar, submarines, and even medical imaging technologies. So while the night may seem silent to us, it's actually alive with a symphony of sound, inaudible to human ears. To bats, darkness is not an obstacle. It is a canvas painted with echoes, guiding them through a world we cannot imagine. Beneath the ocean's surface, where light fades and vision grows dim, a different language rules the deep. Dolphins and whales don't rely on sight alone. Instead, they've mastered echolocation, using sound to see. In the underwater world, sound travels nearly 5 times faster than in air, carrying farther and clearer than light ever could. Dolphins produce rapid clicks and listen for the echoes as they bounce off fish, coral, or even a diver's body. From these echoes, a dolphin can construct a precise 3D image in its mind, detecting the size, shape, and movement of objects with astonishing accuracy. Scientists believe dolphins can even see inside other animals, sensing the air sacs in fish or the unborn calf within a pregnant dolphin. Whales, on the other hand, take sound to another scale. Some species, like sperm whales, emit clicks that are among the loudest sounds produced by any animal on Earth. These clicks can travel across vast distances, helping them hunt giant squid in the blackness of the deep. Other whales, like humpbacks, use long, haunting songs that can echo across entire ocean basins. Songs not just for navigation, but also for communication and social bonding. Together, dolphins and whales live in a sensory world where sound paints the ocean. Where humans would see only a wall of darkness, they perceive living landscapes filled with detail and movement. For them, the ocean is alive with voices, echoes, and songs, a dimension that we're only beginning to understand. Their echolocation doesn't just guide them through the depths. It connects them, binds families across miles of water, and creates a shared language of survival. To dolphins and whales, the sea is not silent. It is alive with sound, a hidden world of messages, maps, and music carried on the waves. When night falls and the forest grows silent, one hunter awakens with a superpower, the owl. Owls are masters of the night, but what gives them an edge isn't just their silent wings or piercing eyes. It's their extraordinary hearing. Unlike humans, owls don't rely on vision alone to hunt. Their ears are positioned asymmetrically, one slightly higher, the other lower. This unique design allows them to pinpoint sound in 3 dimensions, calculating not just left and right, but also up and down. The rustle of a mouse in the leaves, the faint scurry of an insect beneath snow, even the heartbeat of prey hiding in grass. Nothing escapes their radar. When an owl hears a sound, its brain performs lightning-fast calculations, instantly triangulating the exact location of the source. Even in pitch-black darkness, when the world is invisible to human eyes, owls can dive with deadly accuracy. Barn owls, in particular, are so precise that blindfolded individuals in experiments could still catch prey just by listening. And it isn't only their hearing. It's how seamlessly it works with their other abilities. Their wings are specially adapted for silence, with fringed feathers that muffle air turbulence, allowing them to swoop down without a whisper. Combined with precision hearing, this makes owls some of the most efficient predators on Earth. For humans, night is a barrier, but for owls, it's their realm. A world where sound paints the map, where even the faintest whisper of movement is a beacon. To the owl, the night isn't silent. It's alive, a symphony of hidden signals waiting to be hunted. Asterisk. Imagine standing on the vast African savanna. To us, the ground feels still and silent. But to an elephant, the earth itself is alive with messages. Elephants have a remarkable sensory ability. They can detect vibrations traveling through the ground. These seismic signals are picked up through their feet and transmitted to sensitive cells in their legs and trunk. Even their skulls help conduct these vibrations straight to the inner ear. What does this mean in practice? It means elephants can communicate across distances far greater than sound alone would allow. A low rumble from one herd can travel through the earth for miles. Other elephants, far away, feel those vibrations and know instantly if danger is near, if water has been found, or if it's time to reunite. Scientists have recorded elephants reacting to ground-based vibrations as subtle as the footsteps of another elephant several kilometers away. Some herds even adjust their behavior, freezing, listening, or moving, based on signals we humans can't detect at all. This seismic sense is more than just communication. It's survival. During droughts, elephants can detect distant thunderstorms rumbling across the savanna, guiding them toward water. When predators like lions approach, vibrations in the soil can warn them long before their eyes see danger. To us, the ground is silent. To elephants, it is a canvas of hidden messages, a living network of information that ties them to their herd and to the land itself. It's proof that the world is filled with invisible channels of communication, ones that only some species can truly hear. In the elephant's world, even the earth has a voice. In the stillness of the night, a silent war takes place in the skies. On one side, the bat, master of echolocation, sending out rapid ultrasonic calls that bounce back from prey. On the other side, the moth, a fragile insect that should stand no chance against such precision hunters. And yet, moths have evolved astonishing ways to outsmart bat sonar. Some moths possess ears so sensitive they can detect the ultrasonic calls of bats approaching in the dark. The moment they hear those signals, they change their flight pattern, diving, spiraling, or zigzagging unpredictably to throw the hunter off course. But others take defense even further. Certain moth species produce ultrasonic clicks of their own, confusing or jamming the bat's echolocation system. To the bat, it's like trying to chase prey through a storm of false echoes. And then there are the tiger moths, armed with a biological sonar countermeasure. Their clicking sounds not only confuse bats, but in some cases signal that they're toxic or distasteful, warning the bat to stay away. It's the moth's version of saying, "Don't bother, I'm not worth eating." This evolutionary arms race has pushed bats to refine their hunting calls and moths to develop even more elaborate defenses. Each night is a battle of sound, with survival hanging on split-second reactions. To us, the night sky seems peaceful, but hidden within are sound waves we cannot hear. A deadly game of chase and evasion, where delicate wings outwit high-tech biological radar. The moth may look fragile, but its ability to outmaneuver one of nature's most skilled predators proves that even the smallest creatures can reshape the battlefield of survival. When we think of superpowers in nature, we often imagine speed, strength, or sharp vision. But for dogs, their greatest gift lies in their nose. While humans have about 5 million scent receptors, a dog's nose holds up to 300 million. That means they live in a world painted not by colors, but by smells, rich, layered, and incredibly detailed. To us, an apple pie is just a single aroma. To a dog, it's a symphony of ingredients: the flour, the butter, the sugar, even the hands that prepared it. They don't just smell objects, they smell the story behind them. But their abilities go far beyond sniffing out treats. Dogs can detect diseases hidden deep inside the human body. Cancer, diabetes, even certain infections leave behind subtle chemical traces in our breath, sweat, and skin. Where machines may fail, a dog's nose succeeds, sometimes with accuracy that rivals laboratory tests. In hospitals and research labs, trained dogs have learned to identify illnesses early, giving doctors a chance to act before symptoms appear. They can even warn a person with diabetes when their blood sugar is about to drop, or alert someone before an epileptic seizure begins. For those who rely on them, this is more than biology, it's life-saving partnership. Scientists are still uncovering the full extent of what dogs can smell. Explosives, missing persons, invasive species in forests, even the passage of time itself. Dogs track reality in a way completely alien to us. To live with a dog is to live beside a creature who experiences every breath as a map of the world. Where we see surfaces, they sense invisible truths. Their nose is not just a tool. It's a key that unlocks dimensions of reality we will never know. And in that hidden world of scent, dogs are true superheroes. Imagine being able to smell a single drop of blood in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. For sharks, that isn't just a story, it's reality. Their sense of smell is so powerful, so finely tuned, that the ocean is like a vast map made entirely of invisible chemical trails. Unlike humans, sharks don't breathe through their nose. Instead, their nostrils, called nares, are built exclusively for smelling. Water continuously flows through them, carrying scents from miles away. Inside, specialized receptors detect even the faintest traces of blood, fish oil, or other organic molecules. But sharks don't just smell blood, they decode direction. Their brains compare the strength of the scent in each nostril, allowing them to follow the chemical trail back to its source with astonishing accuracy. To a shark, the ocean is not silent or empty. It's alive with signals that tell them who is injured, who is vulnerable, and where opportunity lies. This ability gives sharks their reputation as apex predators. An injured fish miles away sends out a chemical cry, and a shark may be the first to answer. Yet, it's not just about hunting. Sharks also use scent to find mates, navigate their watery highways, and return to the very reefs or coastlines where they were born. What makes their nose extraordinary is its sensitivity. While humans measure smell in parts per million, sharks can sense parts per billion, levels so tiny that they defy our imagination. It's as though the ocean whispers its secrets directly to them, and they never miss a word. To us, the ocean might smell the same everywhere: salt, seaweed, and little else. But to a shark, each current, each ripple, carries a chemical story written across miles. In that hidden world of scent, they reign supreme, nature's perfect detectives of the deep. In the blistering heat of the savanna, where rivers vanish and grass withers, survival depends on one thing: finding water. For elephants, this isn't a gamble. It's a gift. Their sense of smell is so extraordinary that they can detect underground water sources from several miles away. Scientists believe elephants possess one of the most powerful noses in the entire animal kingdom, far surpassing even dogs in certain abilities. Their long, muscular trunks are not only tools for grasping and drinking, but also remarkable detectors of invisible scents carried on the wind. Molecules of moisture, minerals, and vegetation hint at hidden springs or underground reservoirs, and elephants can pick up those clues with astonishing precision. When the dry season peaks and other animals wander aimlessly, elephants often lead the way. Herds have been observed traveling straight toward water holes buried beneath sand or concealed by dry earth. With their tusks and trunks, they dig deep into the soil, uncovering life-saving water not just for themselves, but for countless other creatures of the savanna: zebras, antelope, birds, even predators, all benefiting from the elephant's discovery. But this ability isn't just about survival in the moment. It's part of their culture. Knowledge of ancient migration routes and hidden watering places is passed down through generations. The matriarch, the wise leader of the herd, often remembers paths to water traveled decades earlier, guiding her family across vast distances with unshakable certainty. To us, a dry plain may seem lifeless and unforgiving. To elephants, it is alive with hidden signals. Each breeze, each shift in the air, carries faint chemical whispers that point to life beneath the surface. Where others see dust and drought, elephants smell the promise of water. In this way, their legendary nose makes them more than just giants of the land. When night falls and the world grows quiet, a secret conversation begins in the darkness, one that we cannot see, but moths can. Male moths can detect a single molecule of pheromone released by a female from incredible distances. To us, the night air feels empty. To a moth, it's alive with invisible signals, like invisible neon signs pointing toward potential mates. Imagine standing on one side of a city while someone lights a single candle on the other side, and you being able to sense it instantly. That's the scale of sensitivity moths carry in their antennae. These delicate, feather-like structures are finely tuned chemical detectors, thousands of times more powerful than anything humans possess. A female moth doesn't need to shout or chase. She simply releases a few molecules of her chemical signature into the air. That invisible perfume drifts on the wind, spreading silently across the night sky. Male moths, sometimes miles away, pick up the faintest trace, lock onto the scent trail, and follow it with astonishing accuracy. They spiral, zigzag, and home in until they arrive at the source. Scientists studying these interactions have discovered that moth pheromones are species-specific, meaning each moth has its own chemical language. One moth's perfume might be completely meaningless to another. This ensures that even in a forest filled with thousands of scents, males and females of the same species find one another with almost no confusion. What's even more astonishing is that this silent communication is one of the oldest on Earth. Long before birds sang or whales called, insects were using chemical messages to connect, survive, and reproduce. For us, moths may be small, fragile creatures of the night, but through their invisible language, they remind us that nature is never silent. Even in the stillest night air, countless secret messages drift all around us. Whispers of attraction, survival, and life itself. Imagine living in a world where you never speak, never see clearly, yet always know exactly where to go and what to do. For ants, this is daily life. Their language is invisible, made of chemicals called pheromones. Each ant leaves behind a chemical trail that others can follow, like an invisible road map painted across the forest floor. These trails guide workers to food, warn of danger, and even organize entire colonies numbering in the millions. But ants don't just use one signal. They have a complex vocabulary of pheromones. Some scents say this way to food, others scream, enemy attack. Even the queen herself communicates through special chemicals, maintaining her dominance without ever raising a voice. When ants march in perfect lines, they aren't following sight or sound. They're reading a chemical script laid down by their sisters. This invisible communication system is so effective that ant colonies function almost like a single superorganism, where every tiny worker is part of a larger, coordinated intelligence. To us, it's an unseen world. But to ants, chemical messages are as clear as neon signs, shaping every moment of their lives. Their world is proof that communication isn't just about sound or sight. It could be written in the very molecules drifting through the air. Whiskers may look like simple hairs, but in reality, they are one of nature's most extraordinary tools. Found on cats, seals, rats, and many other animals, whiskers are specialized sensory organs called vibrissae. Each whisker is deeply rooted in the skin and surrounded by sensitive nerve endings. When the whisker brushes against even the slightest change in air movement or a nearby object, the animal instantly senses it. For a cat sneaking through the dark, whiskers act like radar, mapping the environment without needing sight. They could detect the width of an opening, sense vibrations in the air, and even judge the speed of nearby prey. For seals hunting in murky water, whiskers can track the invisible trails left behind by swimming fish, like following a ghostly fingerprint across the ocean. Rats use their whiskers like fingertips, sweeping them back and forth to explore textures, obstacles, and passages, allowing them to move confidently in tight spaces where their vision is useless. Whiskers give animals a kind of sixth sense, an ability to see without seeing, to feel the world beyond the limits of ordinary touch. To us, they may seem like small hairs, but to animals, whiskers are precision instruments of survival, navigation, and hunting. They are the silent guides that turn darkness into clarity and uncertainty into confidence. Crocodiles may look like armored tanks of the animal world, but hidden beneath their tough, ancient skin lies one of the most sensitive sensory systems in nature. Along their jaws and body are thousands of tiny black dots called integumentary sensory organs, or ISOs. To the human eye, these dots may look insignificant, but to a crocodile, they are survival tools of the highest order. Each ISO is packed with nerves capable of detecting the slightest vibration or ripple in water. Imagine a single drop of rain falling onto a river. To us, it's nothing, but to a crocodile floating motionless just beneath the surface, that ripple is like a flare in the dark. It tells them exactly where something has disturbed the water, whether it's a struggling fish, a bird landing, or even the footsteps of prey approaching the shoreline. These sensors allow crocodiles to hunt with astonishing precision, even in complete darkness or murky waters where vision is useless. Their eyes and ears can close while submerged, but their skin never stops listening. With this hidden sensory network, crocodiles transform rivers into maps of movement, reading every disturbance as a signal of opportunity. What seems like a silent, still swamp is, for a crocodile, alive with invisible messages written in waves. Their armored skin is not just protection, it's perception, allowing them to rule their watery domains with stealth, patience, and lethal efficiency. Spiders are famous for spinning webs, those delicate yet deadly traps stretched between branches, corners, and cracks. But what many don't realize is that webs are more than just snares for prey. They're also giant ears. For a spider, the web is not a passive structure. It's a living extension of its body, a finely tuned instrument that picks up the faintest signals from the environment. When an insect collides with a strand of silk, vibrations ripple outward in patterns as unique as fingerprints. A spider sitting at the center instantly knows whether it's a harmless leaf, a buzzing fly, or a dangerous wasp. They can even estimate the size and distance of the intruder, all through the frequency of those vibrations. But it goes further. Research has shown that spiders can sense airborne sound waves through their webs, even when the sound doesn't directly touch their bodies. In effect, the web itself acts like an oversized eardrum, capturing sound energy and transmitting it back to the spider's ultrasensitive legs. This means a spider can hear predators or prey without ever leaving its silk fortress. The web becomes an invisible sensory network, a sprawling net of ears stretched across space, where we might see a fragile thread glistening in the light. The spider perceives an entire world of signals carried through the air and woven into silk. For spiders, hearing doesn't come from ears, but from a structure they build themselves. Their webs blur the line between body and environment, transforming architecture into perception. It's not just a home. It's not just a trap. It's a giant instrument of survival, one that allows spiders to hear the whispers of the world around them. If you've ever watched a school of fish move together, you know how eerily synchronized they seem, hundreds of bodies turning in unison, flowing like a single organism. But how do they do it without colliding? The secret lies in a unique sensory system known as the lateral line. Running along each side of a fish's body is a faint line of specialized cells and pores. To the naked eye, it's almost invisible, but to the fish, it's like having a sixth sense. The lateral line detects tiny changes in water movement, currents, ripples, and even the disturbances caused by nearby creatures. Imagine a mosquito landing on a pond. The smallest ripple spreads outward. To a fish, that ripple is not background noise, it's information. It might mean prey has entered the water, or that a predator is approaching. The lateral line allows fish to sense these signals instantly, without needing sight or sound. This is why fish can thrive in murky rivers, pitch-black caves, or deep oceans where light doesn't reach. Even without vision, they can feel their world in exquisite detail. Schools of fish use the lateral line to swim in tight formations, avoiding collisions while reacting as a group to predators. In effect, the lateral line connects them into a collective nervous system, allowing entire shoals to behave like one giant superorganism. Some species, like catfish and blind cavefish, rely almost entirely on this system, using it as their main way of navigating, hunting, and surviving in dark waters. The lateral line is proof that perception isn't limited to eyes and ears. For fish, the water itself becomes a sensory medium. Every ripple a clue, every current a signal. Where we see only silence and darkness, they feel a living map of motion surrounding them. Their world is written in ripples, and they are expert readers of that hidden script. Buried beneath the damp soil of North America lives one of the strangest mammals on Earth, the star-nosed mole. At first glance, it looks like a small, furry digger until you see its nose. Instead of a typical snout, this mole has a bizarre, fleshy starburst of 22 pink tentacle-like appendages, each wriggling and twitching with astonishing speed. But these tentacles aren't just for show. They are packed with over 100,000 sensory receptors, called Eimer's organs. To put that into perspective, that's more touch sensors than a human hand, packed into a space smaller than a fingertip. The star-nosed mole's nose is essentially the most sensitive touch organ in the entire animal kingdom. Life underground is dark, damp, and nearly silent. Vision is almost useless. Instead, the mole navigates, hunts, and survives by touch. As it tunnels, the star sweeps across soil, roots, and water with blinding speed. Each tiny tentacle collects information about textures, shapes, and even the presence of prey. What makes the star-nosed mole truly extraordinary is speed. It can identify and consume prey, like a worm or insect, in as little as 120 milliseconds. That's faster than the blink of an eye, making it the fastest eater among mammals. Its star isn't just a sensory tool. It's a lightning-fast decision-making system, helping the mole survive in an environment where hesitation means missing a meal. Even more remarkable, recent studies show the mole's brain devotes more processing power to its star than humans give to sight. For this creature, touch isn't just one sense. It's the dominant way of experiencing the world. The star-nosed mole reminds us that nature often hides its most powerful innovations underground, in creatures we rarely see. In a mole's darkness, where eyes fail, touch becomes not just a guide, but the key to survival. When you think of sharks, you probably picture sharp teeth, powerful tails, and the unmistakable silhouette gliding beneath the waves. But hidden within their skin lies one of the most extraordinary sensory systems in the animal kingdom, the ability to detect electric fields. This ability comes from tiny jelly-filled pores scattered across their snouts, called the ampullae of Lorenzini. To the naked eye, they look like small black dots, but to a shark, they're an advanced biological radar. With these organs, sharks can sense the faint electrical impulses generated by every living creature. Every heartbeat, every muscle twitch, every signal from a nerve, no matter how small, creates an electric field in the water. To us, these signals are invisible. To a shark, they're a glowing map of life. A flounder buried beneath sand, invisible to sight. A fish frozen still in murky waters, silent to sound. Even a wounded animal miles away, the shark can find it, guided by the rhythm of its heartbeat. This superpower is so refined that some species can detect voltages as tiny as 1/1000th of a volt. That's like sensing the electrical current of a single battery spread across thousands of miles of ocean. It's a level of perception that borders on the unimaginable. For sharks, this sense is survival. It helps them track prey, navigate the vast oceans by sensing Earth's magnetic fields, and even avoid predators when they are young. And perhaps most fascinating of all, it reveals how nature has equipped predators not just with strength and speed, but with senses that make them living detectors of life itself. Where we see only water and waves, sharks see the invisible heartbeat of the ocean. Deep in the murky rivers of South America lives a creature that turns electricity into language, defense, and survival, the electric eel. Despite its name, it isn't a true eel, but a knife fish, and it has evolved one of the most powerful biological weapons in nature, the ability to generate electric shocks. An electric eel's body is like a living battery. Specialized cells called electrocytes are stacked in long rows, each capable of producing a tiny electrical charge. When the eel fires, these charges combine, unleashing jolts of up to 600 volts, enough to stun prey, deter predators, or even light up a bulb. But what makes this animal even more fascinating is that electricity is not just its weapon, it's also its voice. Electric eels use weak electrical pulses as a form of communication, sending out low-voltage signals to announce their presence, coordinate with potential mates, or warn rivals. To other fish, these signals are invisible. But within the eel's hidden world, they are bursts of meaning, like flashes of Morse code in the dark. When hunting, the eel has mastered electricity with surgical precision. First, it emits short, rapid pulses to locate hidden prey, much like sonar, but with electric fields. Then, in a sudden strike, it delivers a powerful shock that overwhelms the prey's nervous system, forcing its muscles to contract and leaving it helpless. Even more astonishing, electric eels can bend their bodies into a loop, doubling the voltage on their victim, an act of biological engineering that rivals our own technology. For humans, electricity powers cities, machines, and our modern lives. But for the electric eel, it is both weapon and language, survival tool and secret code. In their world, electricity is not an invention. It is life itself, flowing through water like an invisible current of power and communication. In the rivers of Australia lives one of the strangest creatures on Earth, the platypus. With its duck-like bill, beaver tail, and otter-like feet, it looks like an animal stitched together from spare parts. But its true marvel is invisible, the ability to sense electricity. The platypus is one of only a handful of mammals with electroreception, the power to detect tiny electric fields created by muscle contractions and nerve impulses in other animals. Its bill is packed with tens of thousands of specialized receptors, each tuned to pick up faint signals in the water. To the platypus, every twitch of a shrimp, every flicker of a fish's muscle, lights up like a beacon in the darkness. While humans rely on sight and sound, the platypus can literally feel the invisible energy of life. This sense is not a minor adaptation. It defines the way the platypus hunts. With eyes, ears, and nostrils sealed shut underwater, it dives into murky rivers completely blind and deaf. Yet it navigates flawlessly, sweeping its sensitive bill from side to side. The electrical fields of hidden prey guide it like a secret map, leading it directly to its next meal. Even more astonishing, the platypus's brain processes both touch and electrical signals together, fusing them into a single sensory picture of the underwater world. Imagine seeing not just an outline of a fish, but also the invisible spark of its heartbeat. This is the platypus's reality. This unique ability sets the platypus apart from nearly all mammals, placing it closer to sharks and rays in sensory powers than to its furry relatives. Evolution gave it a bill not for quacking, but for perceiving the silent electricity of life itself. The platypus reminds us that nature's most extraordinary adaptations often hide in the most unexpected creatures. It is proof that even among mammals, the boundaries of perception extend far beyond our human limits. Every year, billions of birds embark on some of the most extraordinary journeys in the natural world. Migrations that span entire continents and oceans. Tiny warblers weighing less than a sheet of paper can fly thousands of kilometers, while Arctic terns travel from pole to pole, circling the globe in their lifetime. But how do these feathered travelers know where to go, especially when flying at night or across featureless seas where landmarks vanish? The answer lies in one of nature's most mysterious senses, magnetoreception, the ability to detect Earth's magnetic field. Inside a bird's body, tiny biological compasses provide a hidden map of the world. Some species, like robins, have specialized proteins in their eyes that allow them to literally see the magnetic field as faint patterns of light, overlaying the landscape like an invisible grid. Others rely on magnetite crystals in their beaks, which act like miniature compass needles, feeding magnetic information directly to their brains. This remarkable ability guides them with astonishing precision. A bird flying at night doesn't just rely on stars or the moon. It reads Earth's magnetic whispers, orienting itself across thousands of kilometers of open sky. It's as if they carry a built-in GPS, one forged not by technology, but by evolution. And when storms blow them off course or clouds hide the stars, this magnetic sense helps them find their way back, often to the exact same tree, nest, or coastline year after year. For humans, the magnetic field is something abstract, something we only know through compasses and science. But for migrating birds, it is a living, guiding force, a sensory dimension woven into every beat of their wings. The story of bird migration reminds us that the Earth itself is not just a home, but a silent guide, one that has been steering travelers of the sky long before maps or satellites ever existed. Across the oceans, one of the most incredible navigational stories belongs to the sea turtle. These ancient mariners have been swimming the seas for over 100 million years, and their ability to return to the very same beach where they were born is nothing short of miraculous. A baby sea turtle hatches under the cover of night, scrambles toward the surf, and disappears into the endless blue. For years, it wanders the open ocean, sometimes traveling thousands of kilometers. Yet when it matures, it somehow finds its way back, often to the exact stretch of sand where its journey began. How do they achieve this feat without maps, compasses, or stars? Scientists have discovered that sea turtles are guided by Earth's magnetic field. Like birds, they possess a remarkable sense called magnetoreception. Tiny sensory structures allow them to detect subtle variations in magnetic fields, almost like reading an invisible map painted across the planet. Each stretch of coastline carries a unique magnetic signature, a combination of field intensity and angle. Sea turtles memorize these magnetic cues as hatchlings, imprinting their birthplace into their internal compass. Decades later, when they are ready to nest, they follow this hidden map back home with astonishing accuracy. This magnetic guidance works even in the vast emptiness of the open ocean, where there are no landmarks to follow. To a turtle, the ocean is not a featureless expanse, but a highway marked by Earth's invisible lines of force. What's even more fascinating is that these navigational abilities are inherited, passed down through generations. The beaches we see today are linked to ancestral journeys stretching back millennia, each turtle guided by the same magnetic map that has quietly steered their kind since the age of the dinosaurs. For us, the ocean is a mystery. For turtles, it is a world of magnetic signposts, leading them home again and again across the tides of time. Few animals have baffled scientists and amazed humans as much as the homing pigeon. For centuries, these birds have been trusted messengers, delivering critical information across vast distances, sometimes hundreds of kilometers away from home, only to return with astonishing precision. But what gives pigeons their uncanny ability to navigate the world? When released in unfamiliar territory, a pigeon doesn't panic. Instead, it circles the sky, gathering information. Within moments, it chooses a direction and sets off with unshakable confidence, often beating even modern technology in terms of efficiency. For a long time, humans believed pigeons relied solely on their exceptional memory and vision. Indeed, pigeons can recognize landmarks and even remember them years later. But their homing instinct is far more complex, a blend of multiple senses working together. Research suggests pigeons can sense the Earth's magnetic field, similar to sea turtles and migrating birds. Special cells in their beaks may detect subtle magnetic variations, giving them a built-in compass. They also rely on the position of the sun, adjusting their internal clock to account for its movement across the sky. Even more intriguingly, pigeons may use their sense of smell to build an olfactory map of their environment. By recognizing the unique scent patterns carried by the wind, they can piece together a mental atlas that helps them orient themselves over great distances. This combination of vision, magnetism, smell, and celestial cues creates a multi-layered navigation system that science is still working to fully understand. For humans, a pigeon's return is little short of magic. But for the pigeon, home is never truly lost. It's written into the invisible signals of the earth itself. Their journeys remind us that navigation doesn't always rely on maps and GPS. Sometimes it's about tuning into the hidden guides nature provides. Sometimes the mysteries of the animal world are discovered not through experiments in the lab, but through the patient eye of observation. One such mystery involves something as ordinary as grazing cows and deer standing in fields. Satellite images and field studies have revealed a curious pattern. When undisturbed, cows and deer tend to align their bodies along the north-south axis of Earth's magnetic field. Whether grazing, resting, or standing alert, their bodies naturally point in this invisible direction, like living compasses. At first glance, this behavior seems almost trivial, but the implications are profound. These animals are responding to something we humans cannot see or feel: the magnetic field of our planet. Unlike migratory birds or sea turtles, cows and deer don't use this sense to travel across continents. Instead, they may rely on it for orientation in their daily lives, silently tuning their internal compass to the Earth's magnetic lines. Why do they do this? The answer is still debated. Some scientists suggest that aligning with magnetic north may reduce stress on their nervous system, keeping them calmer and more efficient at feeding. Others believe it may help with predator detection, improving their awareness of their surroundings. This subtle but consistent behavior went unnoticed for centuries, hidden in plain sight. Only with the advent of satellite imagery and careful data collection did the magnetic alignment of cows and deer become undeniable. For us, it's a gentle reminder that even the most familiar animals may be guided by forces we rarely consider. While we wander the world aided by maps and compasses, cows and deer live in quiet harmony with Earth's magnetic pole, their bodies echoing the rhythms of the planet itself. To us, a butterfly may look like a floating jewel, its wings painted with bright blues, fiery oranges, or soft whites. But to another butterfly, those same wings are alive with hidden signals we can't see. Butterflies live in a world where ultraviolet light plays a vital role in survival. Many species have evolved UV-reflective patterns on their wings, invisible to the human eye but glowing like neon signs to other butterflies. These hidden patterns act as secret messages, guiding courtship, mate choice, and even territorial battles. Take the cabbage white butterfly, for example. To us, it looks plain, almost unremarkable. But under ultraviolet light, the males and females display strikingly different wing patterns. Differences so clear that no butterfly could mistake one for the other. In fact, experiments have shown that if you block a butterfly's ability to see UV light, it struggles to find a mate. UV patterns also serve as signals for predator avoidance. Some species use them to confuse or deter birds, while others combine UV with brilliant colors to create complex displays, like flashing billboards in the wild. What makes this even more remarkable is that butterflies don't just rely on UV vision. They also use polarized light to navigate. By detecting the angle of sunlight in the sky, butterflies can orient themselves and even migrate vast distances, guided by cues invisible to us. So the next time you see a butterfly fluttering past, remember, you're only seeing part of the story. Beneath the sunlight, in a spectrum we can't perceive, butterflies are constantly exchanging secret signals, hidden patterns of light that tell a story of attraction, survival, and connection. For them, every wing beat carries a message, and every patch of color is a code in the ultraviolet language of nature. Imagine being able to find your way home using nothing but the light in the sky, even on cloudy days. Bees have mastered this skill, thanks to a sense we don't possess: the ability to detect polarized light. To us, sunlight looks uniform, just bright rays shining down. But when light scatters through the atmosphere, it becomes polarized, meaning the waves of light line up in specific patterns. Humans can't see this polarization, but bees can. For them, the sky is like a giant hidden map, crisscrossed with invisible lines that point the way. When bees leave the hive to forage, they use these patterns of polarized light to orient themselves, even when the sun is hidden behind clouds or blocked by trees. Their compound eyes contain specialized photoreceptors that detect the angle of polarization, giving them a built-in compass. What's even more fascinating is how bees communicate this information. Through the famous waggle dance, a forager bee returns to the hive and performs a coded movement, telling her sisters where food can be found. The angle of her dance corresponds to the direction of the food source relative to the sun, and her fellow bees decode it using their polarized light vision to adjust for the sun's shifting position. This means that a bee's ability to see polarized light isn't just about personal navigation. It's the foundation of one of the most complex communication systems in the animal kingdom. It allows the hive to function as a coordinated, collective intelligence, with thousands of individuals working together as if they were a single superorganism. So while we rely on maps, GPS, and technology, bees navigate using an ancient, elegant system written directly into the sky itself. For them, the world is filled with hidden signposts of light, an invisible compass that always points the way home. Some fish live in a visual world that we cannot even imagine. While humans see only ordinary light, certain reef fish and mantis shrimp can detect circularly polarized light, a hidden form of light that spirals like a corkscrew as it moves. To us, this light is invisible, but for these animals, it reveals patterns and signals hidden in the ocean. On vibrant coral reefs, this supervision allows fish to spot prey that looks camouflaged to other eyes. Some even use it for secret communication, flashing polarized signals that predators cannot detect. Scientists believe this power helps fish navigate the crowded and dangerous reef environment. By seeing an extra layer of reality, they gain an edge in hunting, hiding, and finding mates. For humans, circular polarization is almost impossible to imagine. It reminds us that our senses show only a small slice of the world. For these fish, however, it is everyday vision, proof that nature has evolved ways of perceiving reality that go far beyond human limits. Animals don't just rely on one sense. They often combine multiple senses to create a complete picture of the world. This ability, called multisensory integration, gives them an edge in survival. Take the bat, for example. It doesn't only use echolocation. It also uses vision to confirm what its sound waves reveal. Owls combine incredible hearing with sharp night vision, making them some of the most effective nocturnal hunters. Sharks rely on smell, but also detect electric fields and movement in water, layering multiple senses to locate prey with astonishing accuracy. Even small creatures like ants combine chemical trails with touch and vision to navigate complex colonies. Elephants pair their sense of hearing with ground vibrations, allowing them to communicate across miles. And marine animals like dolphins use echolocation along with vision to hunt and interact with their pod. By blending sight, sound, touch, smell, and even magnetic or electric sensitivity, animals create a reality far richer than anything humans can imagine. Where we see only one layer of experience, they live in a multidimensional world of overlapping signals. This reminds us that nature's brilliance is not in isolated superpowers, but in the way life combines them, turning survival into an art of sensory harmony. For all our intelligence, humans are actually limited when it comes to raw senses. We see only a small band of the electromagnetic spectrum, here within a narrow frequency, and rely heavily on vision compared to other animals. Yet what we lack in biology, we've tried to overcome with technology. We've built infrared cameras to mimic the heat vision of snakes, ultrasound machines that echo the abilities of bats and dolphins, and magnetic sensors inspired by the natural compasses of birds and turtles. Even medical sniffer devices are being developed to replicate the extraordinary noses of dogs and sharks. These innovations reveal a deeper truth. By studying the sensory worlds of animals, we're not only learning about them, we're also expanding the boundaries of our own perception. Every scientific breakthrough is like borrowing a page from nature's manual, turning the extraordinary into the everyday. And yet, despite our progress, we remain humbled by the sheer diversity of animal senses. They remind us that our human view of the world is just one perspective among many. To truly understand life on Earth, we must see through their eyes, hear through their ears, and feel through their unique sensory gifts. In the end, animals challenge us to rethink what it means to experience reality. They invite us to imagine a world richer and more alive than we ever believed possible. From the ultraviolet vision of butterflies, to the seismic sensitivity of elephants, to the magnetic compasses of birds, this journey has shown us that the animal kingdom is alive with senses beyond our imagination. Each species perceives a world that is hidden from us, yet essential to them. For humans, studying these senses is not just about curiosity. It's about innovation, respect, and connection. By unlocking these secrets, we develop new technologies, find better ways to protect ecosystems, and deepen our understanding of life itself. But perhaps the greatest lesson is humility. Our way of seeing the world is only one version of reality. Every creature carries its own truth, its own unique window into existence. And when we recognize that, we gain not just knowledge, but perspective. So, what other mysteries are waiting, hidden in the sensory worlds of animals? What could we discover if we continue to listen, observe, and learn? The journey is far from over. If you enjoyed this exploration, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Animal Truths, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our next deep dive. Together, let's keep uncovering the hidden truths of the natural world, because the more we understand animals, the more we understand ourselves.